Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel, man. Subscribe to it and give this video a like.
Podcast below in the description. Check it out.
Also, check out sleepnumber.com/ham.
Sleepnumber.com/ham. Go get yourself a bed and sleep right.
John, the Niners are sleeping good today because they put quill to paper and got Trey Lance signed, and he's on the field. So not a lot of drama. We had to wait. As of this video, Zach Wilson's still not signed, but Trey Lance misses no practices.
I was texting with someone yesterday, and overall, like, if this had dragged out a couple days, it wouldn't have been the biggest deal because he's not the starting quarterback. Like, I think it's fair to say every practice Zach Wilson misses is a big deal. He's their starting quarterback. As Kyle Shanahan said on Tuesday, Jimmy Garoppolo is our starting quarterback, which everyone's like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, he's literally been the starting quarterback for 4 years. Now, granted, when you make a historic trade like this, there's a different elephant in the room now, but like, he didn't say anything yesterday that was shocking beside that. Would this guy be at practice? They didn't know. I always expected Kyle to eventually, he's not the contract negotiator, but basically tell Parag that, listen, if it came to 10:17, I think is the official start time of these practices in training camp, 10:15 on Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday afternoon or morning, just give him what he has to get to have him be out there in cleats, because he is not going to miss one practice.
It makes it easier when, A, you've already done it for Nick Bosa, right? The lump sum up front, that's what Zach Wilson wants because Sam Darnold got it, different administration. Jets aren't giving it to Zach Wilson. And I think it's also easier when you're talking about this level of prospect, right? It's one thing if it's your 17th pick. Like, you drafted Nick Bosa really high, you gave him what he wanted. You drafted Trey Lance really high, you gave him what he wanted. I know you get a little, once you set a precedent, it's hard to go back the other way, especially once you start using your own precedent as precedent. But that genie's out of the bottle now. If this guy is what you think he is, you're never going to think about it again.
Yeah. And listen, I mean, I think the Zach Wilson thing, I don't know. They did it for Sam Darnold. I can't blame him for wanting that money. For this, I think the Niners were strictly waiting, because typically the way this works now in the slotted system is you just wait for the guy ahead of you to get signed, and then you just base everything off and bang, bang, boom. And the guys, a lot of times, right, it happens like boom, 13, 14, 15, they all sign within a day, like over the summer. To me, the only reason I would say this dragged out, because clearly the Niners are not, worried Jed's bank account about paying the lump sum of money, which, listen, it would be a lot of money for Trevor Lawrence or whoever. But I do think if you're like Trevor Lawrence and you get however your signing bonus is, you have been around huge money, right, for years at Clemson. You've played in these enormous games. You've seen star teammates get huge signing bonus. Your coach your defensive coordinator makes like $2.5 million.
You've been in the machine.
You felt it. Coming from North Dakota State and signing a guaranteed contract, $34 million, that's got to be pretty freaking sweet. Now, did I send you the Instagram? There was a home sold in Menlo Park yesterday. Again, nice looking home, 5,000 square feet, $8.3 million. So I think the Bay Area is the strongest real estate market right now in the country. I do think the South Bay, where he's going to live, is by far the most expensive place in the country right now, more than Manhattan.
Which it normally is. I think that Atherton, from what I read, I think Jim Harbaugh, who bought a house in 2012 for $6 million, just sold it, I think today, Wednesday, for $13 million. At least was on the market for 13. So more than doubling his investment there. So Jim's not coming back, I guess, John. But yeah,
it's a hell of an investment.
It is a hell of an investment. It's a powerful thing. But the Niners, every dollar they invest in this guy, they want that dollar to pay for itself by his presence. And yes, you're right. There's not a quarterback competition right now. Jimmy Garoppolo's the starting quarterback. But what else has Kyle Shanahan said in the past? And that's what every quarterback would tell. I heard Mario Cristobal say it at Pac-12 Media Day. We're going to start with a starter, but I'm going to tell the other guys that are behind him, you can make this a competition. I'd be doing a team a disservice. Is this a quarterback competition? No. But part of what Kyle Shanahan has said in the past is if it gets to the point where Trey Lance is ready for a competition, then we'll have a competition. Whether or not Trey Lance can put himself in position for that, I don't know. But I think the one thing with Trey Lance that we definitely don't talk about enough is and I don't know how we don't, that he's going to be the backup quarterback. Like, he needs to be the backup quarterback. You can't have Jordan Love's situation in more ways than one, where you get to the season and Jordan Love's not even your backup quarterback. And they drafted him in the 20s, and that was a big story. They did not draft this guy in the 20s. So you need your backup quarterback to be ready, especially if the starting quarterback has a history of injuries, which is what Jimmy Garoppolo has. So that's a part of this dynamic too. We've seen the Niners have to go to multiple quarterbacks now for multiple years. Multiple years they've had to use multiple quarterbacks. So he's got to be ready for that too.
Well, if you didn't want to compare it to the Jordan Love situation, he already, unlike Jordan, who there was no offseason, we've already, and you and I have been to a practice, like he's already played, right? In terms of with his teammates, out on the field with his guys, run the offense. Like, we've already seen his physical attributes, ability to make passes. So, and they just started him at the 2, which I remember when he was drafted, we kind of wondered aloud. Like, I wonder, do they make him earn it? Do they? And they didn't even, Kyle didn't even give a shit, which is nice. I mean, it's very new school, I would say, because historically, Parcells-Ian 80s, even when you gave up a lot, sometimes you make the rookie earn it. Remember Fangio, Eric Reed? They drafted him in the first round, and Fangio had him running with the 3s at like the start of training camp. It was like, what are we doing? Now,
I mean, Mac Jones wearing number 50, whatever he was wearing.
I don't put much stock into words when it comes to coaches, especially in July. I just judge you on actions. We were at practice, like, he rotated in. I'm not saying like he was taking, quote unquote, like real estate from Jimmy, but like he's going to get opportunities. Wouldn't you say that your typical backup might not, even in a training camp situation? I fully expect that.
Well, and also he might get opportunities that your typical backup might not in game situations, right? It's one thing if Aaron Rodgers is playing the way Aaron Rodgers played in 2020. You're not rotating Jordan Love in on goal line.
Yeah.
But
I'd rather have Rodgers in the game.
We'll let Sando decide what people would rather have. But with Trey Lance, he has obviously different skills than Garoppolo. And Garoppolo's not Aaron Rodgers. So are there going to be packages for Trey Lance, even if he's not the starting quarterback yet, opportunities to run the football and just kind of ease his way in? There might be. We both think there should be. We both think Kyle Shanahan, if he was drawing up plays on a plane 2-3 months ago, then he's got some ideas.
You know where I will really judge the whole situation? Because, again, Kyle's going to say all these guys are going to say all the right things. And even in practice, which, I'm sure we'll head to a couple, I think you'll know in preseason games. Like, is there a chance that Jimmy's injury history, maybe they let him play in the first one and they don't really mess with the other 2? It's just not worth it. And does he start some of these games? Like, does he get reps with Debo? I don't know. Does Jimmy start them all? I honestly, we've never had 3 preseason games, right? We've had 4, like, since we've been doing this, 4 and none. Are they going to treat the third one? Like, does he even not play at all? Like,
right.
Obviously Jimmy might not, but does he not too? And they just go with Rosen and Sudfeld? I don't know.
It's unique too because he only played 1 game last year, so he hasn't played a lot of football.
He hasn't played that much, but are you throwing him out there with offensive linemen you're not that comfortable with Johnny Tryhards trying to make the team on the other side? It's something you have to think about. So I usually you see those guys play in meaningless games when you're trying to decide between a backup quarterback, right? 2 younger guys, or it's open. That is not the case here, right?
He's the backup.
He's the lock backup. I really think, which is great for us, there's going to be a lot of good content coming out of the preseason games on the quarterback. One, just how he looks, how many reps are they giving him? Are they saving Jimmy? Because I don't think is that crazy? Maybe if you told me Jimmy didn't play in the preseason, I'd be like, I get it. Like, fuck, what? He's been hurt before.
Yeah, I would get. I would get it. The one thing I would say, Jimmy missed a lot of time last year too.
Yeah, but he's been in the league 7-8 years now.
I understand, but it's just I don't want him to. He's been a slow starter historically. Like, you want him to look like he's ready to roll week 1. I agree.
But he's played terrible in preseason games.
I get it. I given his injury history, I wouldn't play him much either. But I'm just saying, like, if he rolls out there for an extra series, like, I will understand it.
I abide by the philosophy now of I would probably head the Sean McVay route.
Yeah, part of it though is you want, you can only get to your point, or to be on your side, if I were going to be on your side on that, is how many snaps are you giving Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams? Well, if you want Trey Lance to get some snaps with them, then you can't have everybody just play 2 series, right? Maybe you give Jimmy 1, or you don't play him at all. Trey Lance gets a couple series with those guys. Then maybe he gets some series with the 2s.
Well, I'd expect Trent Williams to not play a snap.
Yeah, but you understand. Fill in the blank person. Like, Trey Lance needs to, if he's going to play, you don't want him playing with the threes.
Yeah, he can't just be throwing to River Craycraft, right? He's got to, does he get a couple reps with Kittle if Kittle's going to play?
Again, another guy who it's like, if you're going to go all in on Jimmy's not playing, why is Kittle playing?
Well, he's not, and if I'm in charge.
Matt Burrows, by the way, tweeting, Trey Lance most eye-popping throw 35-yarder down the sideline to Deebo Samuel. Which makes me happy because one of the number one things we've talked about for the last 2 years is Deebo Samuel's got to stop just taking hits like a running back. You got to get him the ball down the field. So,
well, and just on a bigger picture Niner thing, remember last year they came into camp with he was hurt, right? Camp Jimmy didn't he break his foot, and then pretty quickly, if I remember correctly, Ayuk pulled a hammy on a go route or a post route. So it's at least relatively healthy.
I mean, Kinlaw didn't practice Wednesday, but
we'll just ease our way in.
Okay. Bosa was there. Bosa was on the field.